All right, everybody, welcome back. It is the Cashflow Kings live after hours show tonight. We're 1 hour late. My apologies. Traffic was a little heavy on the way home. I was a little stinky coming back from the gym. So, my apologies there, but we're typically live, every Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Fiscal, where can the people find you?
So you can find me in the description on my channel, bro.
Links are always in the description.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are on about, but the links are always in the description if you're ever confused.
Yes. If you ever get confused, just look down.
Pause.
I feel like that could be like an anti-woke slogan, actually, now that I think of it. Like, if you find yourself in the tuck-friendly section at Target and you get confused, just look down.
Just a little zinger to start off this night, but it could be a zinger of a night. I'm just gonna be honest.
I mean, it is after hours.
It is after hour, which is a crazy 1 hour timeline. But we got a good one tonight. We got the people in here. We got Travis in here. We got Dividend Dan Dude. There's a lot of anticipation for this stream tonight, and I mean, I was personally looking forward to it for a few weeks because, I think you guys have the polar opposite of investing strategies, which is yeah. We'll get. Well, I mean, we can all agree that yield max sucks.
I am going to challenge that notion actually about the polar opposite thing.
All right, we're gonna. The Dividend Dude stream went pretty good when it comes to resolving. So hopefully tonight goes well. We got Frank in here. Frank's the man. He has probably the best profile picture. He's probably the front runner for that at the end of the year. So
yeah, very dapper.
We got a good one tonight. Travis is mad at his fat fingers, but Fiscal, just to start off the stream, as per we usually do, is there anything that caught your eyes this week that we'd like to discuss before the debate?
I mean, honestly, this week has been kind of a blur for me,
especially after earnings.
Yeah, right. But no, I mean, some stocks went up, some stocks went down. It's SSDD, man.
Same different day.
Exactly. So yeah, nothing too crazy though. I mean, I'm not like particularly stressing any. I mean, I heard that some stuff happened because J Pow talked.
I'm none to hear to talk.
Yeah, I heard he talked and stocks went down or something. That's what I was hearing. That's what Everything Money said. I don't know.
And if Everything Money says it must be true.
It's the gospel.
We got certified financial Arouser who's going to be coming on later in about 20-25 minutes come time.
Hold on. Let me see. Yep, that name checks out.
So, shut the effing door. Yeah, nothing was crazy for me. I had a few tiny buys this week, but nothing to write to the man about.
Yeah, kind of where I'm at. Nothing to write home about. Just standard stuff in the portfolio.
There is something that is to write home about, and that's the Do Dividend Stocks Not Drugs merchandise, which is available. Links in the description. Shameless self-promotion, but I thought I had a pretty good advertisement this week. I don't know if you saw it.
Honestly, you might have missed your calling, man. I think. I mean, it's not too late at your age, of course, but I think marketing might be your thing. I don't know.
I thought it was pretty funny. I hope Joseph doesn't see it because he'd be the type of person. If Joe sees it, he'd be the type of person I want 25% of profits from that.
He'd want a royalty for sure.
Unknown comes in. Microsoft at all-time highs. I would like to talk about this because, unfortunately, I bought Microsoft before the little AI bubble. They were before they were an AI company. Yeah. And now it feels like they have the AI premium, as the kids say on the block. So it's a little unfortunate.
Yeah. The AI premium. I mean, granted, yes, with some companies there is something to the whole AI thing, but I think the market, like every company being an AI company and having a premium for mentioning it, that'll eventually pass. As the dreams do.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be funny if I want to eventually I want to get get a professional profile picture done. Maybe for this channel too. But I think it would be kind of funny if I got an AI one done.
Yeah, that would be funny. I mean, I'd be
more viewers too. So.
curious to see what it would come up with, actually.
Yeah, it would be like us photoshopped as, Walter White and Jesse and the with all the money stacked around, and would be in the hazmat suits.
Which one of us would be Walter?
Probably you. You're older. Yeah, that would make sense, actually. You'd be Walter. I'd be Jesse.
To cook.
I'd be a little punk, Mr. White.
Yeah, science.
Yeah, science, Mr. White.
Goddamn right.
Fiscal. If you say anything about Microsoft not being an AI company, that
what?
I don't think I don't think they intended to be a full AI company.
I never said they weren't an AI company. I said that this thing of every company being an AI company and having a premium will eventually pass. But for some, there's something behind it. Microsoft would be one of the some.
Yeah.
Because they're one of the bigger players probably in AI going forward, I would think.
AI revolutionary technology.
Like I would say, Microsoft, probably Google, supposedly Palantir, and a few others. And of course,
what about Target?
Makers. Target. They're using AI at Target.
Target and Kroger are the secret AI companies. I don't want to hear any words. And Starbucks.
Actually, no, it's funny about Target, actually. Granted, you could argue whether this is AI or not, but there's a story that had been circulated where Target was literally sending like coupons and like advertisements in the mail to this like 16-year-old girl, for like I think it was Target. I could be wrong about that, but it was a company that you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Yeah.
They were sending their stuff for like baby stuff and maternity stuff, and like the parents got angry that she was receiving the stuff, and turned out she was actually pregnant, and
my God,
advertisers figured it out based on her search history on when she was online, either online shopping or questions she was Googling or things like that.
I don't know whether to feel proud about that or I don't know.
Yeah. But either way, the parents I guess had to apologize or something because I guess they didn't know what was going on under their own roof.
That's not bullish. Oh my gosh. I went to Starbucks today and got a free water. It probably cost a couple. Really? Wow.
That's coming right out of your dividend, Ryan.
Disrespectful. That's really good. I hope. Wow. That's no comment. I don't want to see you back on stream. It's a joke. Joke.
Yeah. Yes.
Nisco believes. Yeah, we got the first cigar butt comment. That's the annual cigar butt comment. I think at this point.
Yeah. That's right.
That comment has been here for
I don't understand growth or technology or the future, bro, or any of that stuff.
AI.
Yeah. I'm practically Charlie Munger.
25 cents in California. I'm not sure if it. Oh, did you see Graham Stephan got cut out by Fox News?
Got what by Fox News? Cut out?
He got cut off by Fox News. He had a Fox News segment on the housing market or something.
Freaking Graham Stephan.
He got cut off by Fox News.
Why? What was he? Was it intentional? Was he saying something that they didn't want to hear? Or
I don't know. Well, he went on the show with the Jesse. What's his name? Jesse Waters. Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, there is somebody
with the eyebrows. He went on there. He claimed he got cut off or something. It good to see Graham getting national exposure.
Yeah.
Dividend is talking a lot right now for not being on stream. I'm just gonna be
falling knife method. That's not a method, bro. A falling knife.
You might be stuck with Dividend, dude. I might not be here next week because I'll be in the Caribbean.
I don't know, man. Hey, maybe if you're gone next week, we can just record an early premiere.
Oh, we should.
We can both, if you have a phone, we can be in the comments and chat with people while it plays.
Oh my gosh, that would be
just an idea, man.
That'd be revolutionary.
It would
be. Live show. For people who are not in the Discord, there was quite a lot of buildup today, but there was also discussion of doing a live show. I don't know. We'd have to get big enough to do it, but I would definitely do it in the New York region. So if you'd be interested in that, I'm sure Dividend Dude would come, and I'd get Resi to come out too. That'd be a fun little live show.
It could be.
We'd have We can get all the big names to come on. We could pay Joseph Carlson like $1,000 to come on to get views.
Well, here's the thing. You know Strongman Personal Finance, right?
Yeah.
He charges what, like $40 for a custom video? I bet he'd take the same $40 and come on for a 30-minute. I mean, or maybe he'd do it for
that'd be our
first
capital expenditure of the channel.
I mean, I'd pay that today. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be worth it.
Yeah. Jordan, fiscal and yep, there we go. There we go. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I in fact believe in the cigar butt method.
Yeah, Starbucks. Starbucks is. I'm perked off of a medium Starbucks right now, so I got energy to go.
Yeah, I got zero sugar Minute Maid lemonade here.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, NOS Zero came back.
NOS. What's that?
So it's the energy drink NOS, NOS.
I gotta look it up. NOS, and if I see let's see. Oh yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah. So the zero sugar version was like, could not find it for the longest time. It used to be one of my favorites. It just came back to Quick Trip, and so I am so pumped to be able to drink those now. And I think I get enough ad revenue on YouTube, I can almost pay for one a day.
Mm-hmm. Have we talked about the Realty Income Spirit deal yet?
I don't think, I'm not sure if we really got too much into it.
All right. So I made a video on it earlier this week, and I have mixed feelings on the deal. Do you know how much do you know about the deal overall, like on a scale of 1 to 10?
5 or 6, man.
Okay.
So for example, the first thing I looked at was how much the by the way, some of the articles misstated the amount of the acquisition.
Yeah.
One of the articles put it at like 4 or 4.3 billion or something when it was really like 9.3.
Yeah, it was 9.8.
Yeah,
9.3.
If it had been like 4.3, I would have said, "Oh, nice, they bought it for the value of the assets or whatever."
Yeah.
But they're paying a massive premium for it, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. I was not. Here's my thing. I understand that Realty Income is in a position where if they need growth, they have to make acquisitions. I am all in for that. But if you look at their financials, their debt has nearly doubled since 2000, from 2021 from 2020 years, right?
Yep.
At this point, I get the high interest rate. I really don't think that they'll be like, they're not going bankrupt, obviously. They have a solid occupancy rate, but I believe if they're very heavily concentrated in retail, and I believe some retail is definitely in trouble. I'm not saying what companies, and I'm not saying whether it's Walgreens or not, but I am saying that some retail could be definitely in trouble.
Oh.
And I think if they need to make an acquisition, I think one, it would have to be, if they're going to pay a premium like that, I think they would have to do it with a right company.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Even if it's not Walgreens, they have a lot of Dollar General, Dollar Tree, that kind of stuff. Those ones I think are in a worse position than even Walgreens right now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, because if you think about it, like, they don't have a high margin pharmacy component to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For Walgreens and CVS, the retail, they don't make much on the retail compared to what they make on pharmacy.
Yeah.
So if you take away, is basically the dollar stores are like a cruddier Walgreens or CVS, but without the pharmacy.
Well, the way I see it, I viewed it really just as them buying more Realty Income. Like, Spirit Realty looks very identical to Realty Income. They got a little bit of industrial exposure and some golf courses. So I viewed it as that. I wasn't too I'm not saying it's bad, because I mean, they're adding more to their core business if you're investing in Realty Income.
By the way, just addressing the comments, I technically have a good amount of Realty Income now, and I have a tiny bit of Vici.
Yeah, technically we got some Vici.
I bought $1,000 worth of Realty Income. I mean, you guys decided that.
Your money.
Yeah.
No, I have a fun experiment I'm doing it, and I was talking about it. So what I'm doing, And as the title says today, value or growth stocks. It feels like that's been like that's been the big divider, the common divider between the Discord recently. You got people like Dividend Dude and Rezi who like paying 56p's for companies, and then you got people like you who like owning Walgreens. And there's a big debate between both. You can make bull and bear cases for both. So I made a portfolio of 10 companies. 10 of them are growth stocks, and I just disregarded valuation completely. And 10 of them are complete value stocks. And I'm going to make videos on them this week. I think you'll appreciate it.
It's paper trading, right?
Yeah, it's all paper trading.
Yeah, gotcha.
So it's 10,000 portfolio each start, and I'm just gonna have it for a long time. And it'll be interesting.
What you should have done, for fun is let me pick the value stocks and let one of my haters pick the growth stocks.
Oh,
yeah. That's. I mean, maybe next time. Right.
I was trying to think of like the typical high growth.
What time frame though on this?
I'm planning on doing it as long as they do the channel. So okay. I mean, like I could do like quarterly
or years from now. You're gonna.
Okay, absolutely.
That's cool. Yeah, because obviously, like, sometimes, like I get it, right? Like sometimes you buy companies that go down a lot and then they keep going down like a falling knife, right? And sometimes you have to be okay eating a lot of red carpet for just a little while. And yeah.
What are you gonna do at the end of the day? Definitely next time. I only pay negative 70p. If only Realty Income was an AI company.
Maybe they are.
They're secretly an AI company. If you really think
maybe they have an AI algorithm that told them to buy Spirit.
Ooh. Summit Roy could be cooking some things up behind closed doors, ladies and gentlemen. You never know.
You really never know.
I know this is a hard thing to say, but assuming both companies are at the same valuation, Realty Income or Vici, if you're holding for the next 10, 20 years.
If they were both like same multiple of FFO or that
same
kind
multiple,
of thing.
same everything.
If it was same multiple of FFO, same premium or discount to book value, probably Vici.
Yeah.
Like if I was making like a pure, idea about like what I think the future is. Remember, Vici has so it's actually because of the rent escalators. Realty Income usually uses like a 1% rent escalator, and which is why Walgreens likes to rent from them, for example. Vici is a CPI-based escalator, so inflation actually makes it so they can collect higher rents.
Yeah.
And I prefer REITs with CPI-based escalators.
Mm-hmm. I think what a lot of people are afraid of right now is it's very easy for people like Joseph Carlson to be looking at like retail. It's very easy to say something's going bankrupt when it's down 20, 30, 40%, like a lot of these retail companies are.
Yeah.
Look at Realty Income. It's a lot of it's retail. And that combined with interest rates, I think there's just reason for a lot of people to be worried about it. But I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think the majority of their tenants will actually be just fine. Like people, right? The kind of retail companies that are going bankrupt are like Bed Bath & Beyond, I think was just earlier this year.
The highest quality of highest quality.
Yeah, right. What else? Rite Aid, which, I think Rite Aid went out of business because Walgreens and CVS ate their lunch for decades.
Yeah.
But, and I think the ones that are most on the verge of going bankrupt are probably the ones that relied on malls. Like I think, and I'm not saying that any one of these is going to for sure go bankrupt, but like I would be pretty worried if I had like Foot Locker, Macy's, Nordstrom, that kind of thing.
Jeremy companies.
Does he have all of those? I thought he only had Foot Locker.
He pumped Foot Locker. That was one of them.
Yeah.
You never know.
But yeah, like those kind of things, like they would worry me just because malls have fallen so far out of favor in the US, and I just don't think they're making a comeback. As much as I love malls, as far as like an experience of going to the mall, I enjoy that. Yeah, they're still super big over in Asia, but here, like, I just don't see them making a comeback for whatever reason.
Yeah, every mall, like they got like 3 stores. It's like rather a Champs or a Foot Locker, maybe a Spencer's, and then maybe like it's got to be a restaurant, maybe like a Tully's or Dave and Buster's or something like that. Maybe a movie theater too. I don't know. CVS is a value trap. Dividend dude won't like to hear that.
No. Honestly, like, I in terms of like, so I've wanted, as you know, I'm a healthcare bull, and I wanted
We're gonna get to that.
help.
Wait.
I wanted to be in the retail pharmacy space, and it was really between Walgreens and CVS. Honest truth, wish I had waited longer for CVS to reach a better valuation point, because at the time I think I overlooked a lot of positives that CVS had going for it, and I would honestly call that probably a mistake to overlook CVS further in the past and choose Walgreens over them.
Yeah. All right, I have a special game we're gonna play. I have to let my dog out right now, but while I'm gone in the meantime for a minute, I want you guys to drop your typical value stocks or companies that have been trading at a discount, and me and Fiscal will be going over them, one by one, and just giving our buy, sell, hold thesis. Our shortened, very shortened before our special guest gets on. So everybody light up the comments right now with your discounted stocks. Keep it to minus 10% at least.
Give us something good, guys. What's on sale? Don't overthink it. Ooh, okay, that one's interesting. All right, I don't know that one. I do know that one. All right, well.
I apologize, everybody. Stockmo was trying to lure the dog into the backyard.
Oh, no.
Jeremy was trying to give it some tattooed chef, so my apologies. All right, let's see.
Was Stockmo trying to sell him some of his like NFT or whatever it is he does?
Yeah, he was trying to do that and put a hat on him, and I wasn't going to let that happen.
Oh,
Walgreens, no. Trash or gas? Well, LBR2. That's a little too vague. This is tough. I'm not a Walgreens guy.
I mean, for me, it's a hold at the moment.
Buy, sell. Oh yeah, let's do buy, sell, hold.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hold at the moment for me. I mean, honestly, like, I think it's more than likely going to experience a price recovery.
Newmont.
But I don't think that my return on Walgreens is going to meet my original expectations at this point, though.
Oh, what do you think? Real quick? What do you think? What do you think for return on Walgreens?
I couldn't tell you. I'd have to go like double check my basis and rerun stuff, but I just don't think it's going to meet my original expectations.
Newmont. It is down 56%.
I do not know this one.
I don't either.
Let's stick to ones we know.
Hold. I think it's already.
Oh no, let me see what price CVS is at. I know they were bouncing around a lot lately.
Yeah.
What are they currently at? Current price? CVS is a buy. Current price.
CVS hold. Oh, Jesus. I can't say buy here, dude. Oh, man.
All right, let me look at one thing real quick.
And keep in mind, guys, me and Fiscal's investing, perspectives on a lot of companies are very different.
Yeah, that's true.
He's much more accepting of some companies, unlike me.
I'm also much more picky on some, though.
Yeah.
So you know what? On Crocs, just based on like a 10-second glance at the financials, I'll give them a buy.
Target. Oh, come on. We're down a little.
Target's at least a hold for me.
What would it have to get for you to be a buy?
I think if it, I want to say that it was like if it broke down under 100, that's where it's like duh.
Yeah. I think you're more picky with that because I'm more like, I wouldn't say I'm not trying to time the bottom, but I feel like if I thought it was a discount at 130 and it goes to 105.
So, I mean, I think that's the number I said last time we had a conversation about it. And I guess I would just stick with that number. I mean, obviously, what I keep telling people is that I think that you will, over the long run, do fine just dollar cost averaging into it at the prices you have been. I don't think you're in any trouble whatsoever. Yeah, you might not get like a 20% return.
It's actually had a bit of an anti-hero run on the channel recently. I've gotten some support on my target. Baba.
Yeah.
That's
probably a buy. That's a buy for me right now.
I mean,
theoretically, if I was looking to add to my Bob, I already have it, but it's a buy. Yeah.
BTI.
Arguably a screaming buy right now.
I'd say it's a buy too. What's PXT?
Yeah, I do not know. Perex Resources. It's some random. Right. Like try to choose stocks we've heard of, please.
Yeah. Dollar General.
All right, so let's see. Probably a hold. Like, I don't think they are actually going to go bankrupt, but there are some things I don't. I think there is a little bit more risk in them than with some of the other retailers, like the retail related issues that have been happening across all retail. I think dollar stores are just a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah,
their customer base isn't as affluent, and if there's a recession, it could be really rough for Dollar General. But
this is a good one. T-Row.
T-Row. Well, in spite of the, yeah,
I do not. I was close to buying T-Row, but I didn't because one, I didn't understand the business like at all, and I saw dividend growth, and then I kind of thought to myself, this was a while ago. I'm like, am I investing for business or the past dividend growth? And I moved on, and it's fallen a lot since then too.
I think maybe hold, because let's just be real. If there's a recession, like I think if the market goes down, T-Row goes down in general.
And if the market goes up, it typically goes up, but my recent memory, it has not.
Yeah. Well,
let me look.
Yeah, their fees, being, like percentages of assets that they manage in a lot of their products, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Before we get to our special guest, I would like to talk about Disney. Disney was probably the one big company for me that reported earnings this week.
Did they bring back the dividend?
Not officially, but they said they'd recommend to the board. They'd highly recommend and highly suggest they bring the dividend back by the end of the year.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, we got our special guest in here. It's everybody's favorite certified financial arouser, Anti-Buffett. Get in the chat.
Is it dark? Here, let me try going to the other side.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that a Nike hoodie I see?
Oh.
We got top. Fiscal puts on the glasses.
All right.
Anti-Buffett. Is that a Nike? Is that a Nike shirt that you got on?
No, it is not. It is my
I'm
favorite
blind.
DJ. His name is Excision. His logo.
Better sell your
is
Nike, Ryan.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, so
That's not good. All right, we got interview, we got questions, we got debates to cover. We got everything tonight, and it's gonna be good.
okay. Yes, let's get on the show.
Describe your investing strategy to anybody in the chat who's not familiar or isn't in the Discord link in the description, and just describe it overall.
I guess like it's a growthy style, but I think the underlying core belief that I have with my portfolio is it's almost like a vision of my future and what I think the future is going to be like. And so I pick stocks based on, what I think will happen in the future.
I'm kind of with you there. I like when I started, I wanted to just pick companies that could see in society just doing really well for a long time. So
early on, and we already agree on something that investing is about the future and not the past. What the heck is going on here? I wasn't expecting that.
It definitely leans very growthy and probably overvalued by financial media and I don't care about valuation.
So
I guess that's what makes.
Fiscal, do you have any response to the valuation side of things?
Yeah, it's just, I think that in the long run, the price you pay is what's going to determine your return. I don't think there's anything wrong with dollar cost averaging. It's, a proven method. But if I was going to just dollar cost average, no matter what the price is on something, I would just buy an ETF, to be honest. For me, part of the adventure of investing in individual stocks is trying to find those disconnects between the market's perception on something and what I truly think it's worth based on what my assumptions, again, about the future are. So different strokes for different folks on that.
Fiscal, what do you put in your DCF models?
What do you mean? What do I put? It's
like what like future growth? Where do you get your future growth projections?
Generally, when it comes to future growth, I'm going to, in most cases, not all, but most cases, assume worse than what the analyst average is. And I'm also applying a higher than average discount rate. Basically, I'm putting room in there to where even if I'm wrong, it still might not be all that bad in the long run. Granted, if perception's especially bad, I might have to eat it for a little while and stare at red numbers in my account from time to time. But I actually personally think that investing is more temperament than what you actually pick. As long as you pick stuff that's not going to go to zero and you have the testicular fortitude to hold on to it, you'll probably do pretty well in most cases.
Mm-hmm. All right. The people want a Crocs discussion. So,
okay.
Anti-Buffett's a well-known representative of Crocs in the community.
Biggest Crocs bull in the community.
Fiscal's been a man to, I wouldn't say being a Crocs bear, but, denoted it as a moat.
So the only thing I've said negative about Crocs is that I don't think it's a moat, and I think Nike is a moat.
I agree.
And I think Crocs has a pretty good brand around it.
Yes.
That people there are certain people who are going to like Crocs and stick with it. And
sure.
It definitely has a competitive advantage. There's a lot of social marketing that they do very well. And in the age of influencers and little dances, I think Crocs did very well with coming out with, I don't know, just weird, crazy stuff that just gets the internet going.
It seems like they know their customer pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw they had an Instagram. They had something on Instagram the other week that was the boots.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was actually kind of impressed of how we do have a Crocs forum up on the Discord too. So that's
yeah, I'll try to post regularly.
I'll take y'all's word on what they're doing on Instagram. I'm not on there so much.
Yeah.
Fiscal. Earlier you said that you are a healthcare bull. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Sure. What I said it's a demographics thing because, all right, especially in the United States and other developed countries, we have an aging boomer population, right?
Yeah.
And I think, as people age, what do they consume more of over time? Just naturally as their bodies break down. Right. Medical services, prescription drugs, healthcare advantage plans, stays in the hospital or in, God forbid, the long-term care facility. If I get to that point, please take me out back behind the barn. That kind of thing. And so that's why I think I do take more chances in that space, just because I think in the long run that there's going to be more growth in healthcare related businesses, more so maybe than in some others. I think healthcare is probably going to grow more than consumer staples over the next 20 years, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess, do you think of like other companies in the healthcare space at all? Or like, like the health tech, I don't know, pharmacy companies, or
I don't know.
do
you consider
is there anything other than the insurance and the pharmacist side of things? Like, is it, is there a deeper healthcare?
I'm somewhat interested in pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
But I want to, I keep going back to wanting to understand the pipelines better before I make there's a couple pharmaceuticals in my SCHD destroyer portfolio, but I want to understand the pipelines better before and here's the thing, I can read scientific literature and probably understand it decently well, but I would still feel somewhat out of my depth with how complicated some of those studies are that they have in the clinical trials and things like that.
Yeah.
But as far as healthcare technology, one company I've been looking at a little bit is Medtronic. They do medical devices. Okay. I do have a little bit of Clover, and they do Medicare Advantage plans, but they also have, and they're calling themselves an AI company now because they have something called the Clover Assistant that's supposed to improve patient outcomes or something. But that's kind of this whole other thing. It's a bit of a meme stock, so I'm careful about what I really listen to on it because there are some people who are down a lot of money on it who are really delusional about the fact they're going to 100x or something supposedly. So you got to question some of the research that you see out there by people.
Yeah, definitely.
And oh man, I think there's one. Gosh, I think there's one other one, but lost my train of thought on it.
Unknown asks if the demographic change has already been priced in for healthcare.
Not in all cases. I mean, that's why that comes back to valuation, right? If I find a healthcare related thing that I think is potentially undervalued, then more concentration there, because I think the rising tide will lift all boats.
You guys have had disagreements on Airbnb, probably most notably.
Yeah.
Well,
Anti-Buffett's he's an Airbnb. He's probably the biggest Airbnb bull I know. Well, Fiscal, you're not an Airbnb fan, and I'm neutral on it.
Granted, this is based on no real.
Yeah, the 10-minute discussions that we've had combined.
Right, it's a company when I glance at it, I'm like, not for me.
And is there a reason why or anything in particular that it's not for you?
All right, let me see if I can get Airbnb pulled up.
Yeah. I mean, financially, I think they look pretty solid.
All right, so I hadn't looked at them in a long time, and they're better than what I remember.
Okay.
even valuation wise, like they're not looking as stretched as what I remember. I think the last time I really looked at them was probably maybe like early 2022. So
Okay.
a lot of things can change about a company's financials in that amount of time.
Yeah.
But most of what I knew of them was different like condo associations and HOAs trying to like restrict them. Certain municipalities even like kind of going against them.
New York City. Yeah.
Right. And like, I remember it being priced for a hell of a lot of growth at the same time and thinking, well, if they're getting all this pushback and there's already so much of it out there that communities are starting to push against their growth.
Yeah.
I was thinking the growth could come in less than what the market was pricing in. And that was like, 5 minutes surface level type stuff there. But
I think that the thing with like HOAs and condo associations, like Airbnb has been around for a while and the regulations are in place for most condos. I just recently moved into a condo and we can't do Airbnbs. And so like the rules are already in place and it was in place long before. And I guess a thing about growth, I think one thing that people don't realize with some companies is the global scale that these companies play on. And the markets that they're growing in, I think, are going to vastly outweigh the United States, continue going forward.
I do agree that there's probably more potential overseas.
I think international definitely is a huge market for them.
And here's the thing about Airbnb. Like, I'm definitely and only recently have I really like I've become more of a customer in the last year or so than I ever was previously.
I guess, can I ask about your experience? Because I have a very positive view of Airbnb. I use Airbnb a good amount. I think everything that I check into is fine and good. I guess, has your experience?
Yeah. And I was just going to say that, like, my experience as a customer has actually been fantastic, which, almost, that alone, maybe makes you like, want to take another look at it. Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, I used the product or service and found it spectacular. I've had generally good experiences. Even in other countries, I've had good experiences.
Sorry, my cats are playing in a bunch of paper.
But yeah, like I stayed in one in Venice, one in Rome, one in Manila.
All right, nobody likes a bragger. Nobody likes a bragger.
No, and I've also been to some here locally in Arizona.
Yeah.
Well, not really locally, kind of outside the city, but like I rented a cabin there once, and all across the board, like the hosts were pretty good. The stuff was I got there and everything was as expected.
Do you normally get a private space, like private entrance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I very much value my own space. I'm not much about sharing my space with others. So
shared bathrooms is a big no for me.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a big no for me.
We rented.
You would be definitely willing to give Airbnb another look. I think it's like their experiences. I think they haven't really touched their experiences, and they've been working on just the platform. Like they just released new updates, and I think they'll definitely grow on like the TripAdvisor side of things.
Yeah, 100%. Like if something's a pass for me a year ago, 2 years ago, it doesn't mean that it's an eternal pass. I'm always willing to take another look at something and say, hey, this thing actually, could be a good investment.
Yeah.
I like to consider myself to be pretty open-minded in that way.
I guess out of curiosity, did you have like any other qualms about Airbnb?
No, it was literally just, at the time seemed like it was valued for an awful lot of growth. And then again, this is one of those things, perception may have been different from reality. And I fell for the perception, right? I talk about that in Discord all the time where, I try to take advantage of disconnects between perception and reality, but everybody is fallible to that to some extent. And it just takes an adequately good case or piece of information to, turn me around, basically.
Okay.
Target.
No way. Too slow. Yeah, I do think like one downside with Airbnb currently is they've definitely been on a boom. So I definitely think that they're due for, a little bit of a pullback.
Well, that pullback is like my favorite word. So if that happens, I'll even be taking a closer look.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like literally, I've just had the financials pulled up while we've been talking about them, and it looks so much better than what I remember.
Okay.
Like I bet if I ran like a DCF or something on this, I'd probably be coming out pretty close right now.
Okay. I think everyone should buy Airbnb. Even you, Ryan. So
I'm
trying.
I'm just the moderator. No, Airbnb. I'll say this. It's growing on me.
Okay.
It's growing on me a lot more than Crocs has. That's for sure.
Okay. Fair.
Like it's getting to the part where it's like, all right, I could seriously look at it. But I mean, like, we've talked about UPS, and I'm taking a very close look at that. As
far as like selling it, you mean?
Yeah,
you have it, right?
I don't see myself like buying anymore. That's my thing. I'm at the point right now where I'm definitely at a hold in my position.
Okay.
So I'm doing a deep relook right now. And I'm likely going to sell. I only own 2 shares, so I'd probably just put it in Visa or something.
I mean, so the valuation doesn't look like horrible, but at the same time, I mean, when last time you and I discussed this, Ryan, I told you, I don't. And there may be an exception out there somewhere, but in general, I wouldn't probably buy companies that are in the business of moving things from place to place. There's so many things that can like just destroy their margins like this. And it takes until it takes time to readjust prices to correct for that, or anything like that. So it can be, I don't know, a little bit. And especially one that's multimodal like UPS, where they've got their final mile trucks, but they've also got airplanes and things like that. Like it's really capital intensive, and their margins can get destroyed pretty quickly.
I mean, like, I think my bull case, if I even have one still, they have a very strong, shareholder rewards program for obviously buybacks and the dividend. Their free cash flow has been really solid the last couple of years, but it's just, I think we've talked about before, it's still like here, then it's in here for the next 2 years, and I don't know like how sustainable that's going to be. And they're in a duopoly essentially, like very hard to compete with. But I think it's not looking good for me adding UPS anytime soon.
It's extremely low predictability.
I think one thing that the way that I look at it is, like as a growthy type investor, we look at like total addressable market a lot. Like how big is the shipping market? And I just wonder to myself, how much would it take for UPS to double or even triple in their like shipping business? Like how many more people would have to start shopping online? And it's like,
and the Amazon threat's always there. I mean, it's not. I don't think Amazon's gonna like take them over or whatever, but it's always gonna be like
Shopify. I think sold their logistics to Flexport. I think I don't know how big they are, but they're out there.
So UPS is definitely on the.
And by the way, when I said that, I wasn't necessarily considering Amazon a part of that as like a stay away from it, because they happen to move things as part of their business. But companies where that's all they do is move things as part of their business, it's like I wouldn't want to be in like U-Haul or FedEx either.
I like U-Haul. I've been considering them. Every time I'm on the road, I just see them. So I'm just like,
the U.
Well, they also do self storage too. So it's not U-Haul definitely does not do just moving.
Now self storage. Now I've actually been like low key browsing like pure self storage plays.
Okay.
I do think there is something to that business model.
Very simple. Very simple to maintain. I think definitely I would take another look at U-Haul.
If the self storage is a big enough chunk of the pie, like another company that does a lot of things is Comcast.
Okay, yeah.
So if a lot of people, I think, erroneously think of them as just cable TV and maybe Peacock, but the fact is, they supply high-speed internet to how many households? And I personally think that like that gives they're basically a regional monopoly in the areas where they provide high speed. I don't know. I think Comcast is probably one of the best things.
Comcast or Airbnb? What
Comcast and Airbnb. If your Airbnb has Wi-Fi, they probably got their internet from Comcast. Just so you know.
Oh, full circle! It's full circle. And what if the Airbnb has a Keurig? And where are the coffee pots going to be from?
Maybe Starbucks. I don't know.
Yeah, you never. Most popular coffee brand in America. They got to go with the brand.
I guess. Can we talk about MPW?
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So you guys have been going at it with MPW.
It's a pretty easy conversation for me.
The drama that Dividend Dude's been craving and begging for in the comment section. And when John Judas comes in the chat, you need to bring
it's a falling knife. What can I say?
All right.
I guess like just one question that I have is like, how long term is MPW for you really? Is it just a play to get back to fair value? Do you see them like growing the dividend again and
more
being healthy?
For now, it's more of a medium term, see how it goes kind of thing. If it gets back towards the fair value, I would probably start selling calls against it and let the shares go away if it breaches.
All right. Yeah, we've been. I think like there's two people in our Discord pretty much. There's the MPW shit, which Anti-Buffett is the head of.
I don't know if I'm the head of it, but
I'm leaning more on that. I'm not a fan of MPW. And then there's the MPW, obviously fiscal. You're the MPW view king. We got to give props where props are due.
Yeah, I get almost as many views as the big channels when I like they're like, especially like if you compare our audience size, like, somebody like, Joseph Hogue with like 600K subscribers can do an MPW video and get like 20, 25K, whatever. I'll get like 5 or 6, with 1K. Like, I think on YouTube, I'm the MPW king, believe it or not.
Oh, no. Nobody likes a bragger.
And like, is this like the reason why you buy MPW? Because I don't know. Because like, I guess like to me, once again, like bringing it back to like Airbnb or, any stock that I own, like why would you own such a, I don't know.
Say it how it is. Say
a bad company.
So
there has to be something even in your own portfolio, even if we don't see eye to on what to buy. Like like there has to be something in your own portfolio that you see better than MPW.
Sure. So like, yeah, definitely. Like, I think as like very, very long term, I think, Comcast, PayPal, Intel, all much, much better. MPW is I would call it more of an asset play. They have a very, very asset rich balance sheet, and they've had like, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember, like not assuming your age or anything, old enough to remember what it was like in 08, 09. But everything real estate related basically turned to ish, including MPW back then, actually. And those who, either averaged down or held on and were patient ended up being rewarded. And I see a very similar thing playing out right now. People are very much against REITs in general right now. There's a lot of negative talk about real estate in general. And MPW, unfortunately, does have some tenants that were hard hit by the pandemic. But when you listen to their earnings calls and pay attention to that, a lot of that stuff's rounding the corner. And the stock is so ridiculously heavily shorted that's, creating a real squeeze on the share price.
Couldn't you say that there's a very real reason, though, that it's being shorted?
Yeah, like it's just a bad company. I don't know.
So, I mean,
like you say the same thing.
REITs are getting hammered overall right now, too.
No, I think honestly, no. I think it's being shorted more based on perception that some of the short sellers themselves are actually, putting out there.
What do you think MPW's fair value is currently?
Around in the range of $13 to $14 per share.
Okay. And you don't think you're missing something? I mean, I haven't looked at it.
No. It's just that's literally just the value of their assets if they had to liquidate them all after they paid off their debt. With liquidated, if they liquidated everything and paid off their debt, that's about what you would be left with.
Okay.
And they've demonstrated the ability to get liquidity by selling assets if they need to. They sold $800 million worth of Australian hospitals earlier this year, and they've indicated that they've been receiving other cash offers for other properties and that they're not rushing to sell at the moment, but considering that or refinancing on some of the debt. So the big fear is that there is a debt cliff coming for them in like 2025, 2026. And there is some, there's some fear about that because interest rates are higher. Like a lot of their debt is like 1%, 2%, up to maybe like 5% interest. And with their credit rating, any refinance would be at a considerably higher rate if interest stays high for the next few years. So that's a big reason why the stock has been shorted so much and why, people are selling out of it. But I personally think that they'll be able to get through that.
Okay.
Would you?
Because I think they've got the assets to do it, and the dividend cut was prudent. It frees up an extra like $80 million per quarter. So, and actually, right, we're reaching a point actually with the price where they might actually be better off buying and deleting shares to save on the dividend versus like paying down debt. Actually, that's how cheap they've become.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Dividend dude, as I mentioned, you're talking a lot right now for not being in here. I'm just putting it out there.
I get. Can we talk about another company that you, or I guess another company that you own, HP? I honestly cannot wrap my head around HP at all. Like what
good honesty.
Does it have going for it?
Yeah, I mean, really, that's just valuation wise. When I run the numbers, I think it's worth probably $35 to $40.
Pull up the financials of HP?
Yeah,
I will do it. It's
like like I said, like I cannot wrap my head around it, and nothing about it seems appealing.
What specifically am I pulling up here?
HPQ.
I know, but like financially wise.
Oh, just anything. Honestly,
all right, we'll look at revenue to start off.
Flat. I mean,
so
maybe not revenue.
There was
everything else.
Just so you know,
free cash flow.
Ryan.
Yeah.
There was a point, I don't know exactly what year it was, where they split off from
like their enterprise section. Yeah.
They split off from HP.
If you go to their revenues, the year will like show.
2015. That would make sense for the revenue then.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I just just so that we're aware of that.
But thank you. Like let's look at the free cash flow. It hasn't gone anywhere.
Right. So I assume minimal, basically almost no growth of any kind for HPQ.
Okay. Like we could look at their EPS.
This is one. So HPQ is one of those. If you guys want to say it's a cigar butt, I'll even go ahead and concede. Yeah, this one's a cigar butt that's purely a valuation thing because it's cheap.
Ooh.
I guess I'm a growthy type person, and I see no.
I think I'll get my return from buybacks and dividends mostly, and they can, in some cases, maybe cut costs to improve margins.
Look at their earnings per share, and then look at their dividend buybacks.
Dividends and buybacks.
It just makes no sense to me. They've cut it massively, and it still is just flat.
Fiscal, do you think you get a market beating return with HPQ? Or
I think it's probably going to be 11-12%.
Okay.
The truth comes out. Fiscal, would you consider more of a growth focused portfolio ever?
Well, okay, I have a lot of
with companies. Less regard to valuation. I know, it doesn't have to be as much money, but would you ever be open to doing that?
literally, like, I put together a 50 stock portfolio that I said ignores valuation and has more
the
growth in it.
SDHD killer.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, of course I'm open to different things.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun here, you know?
Oh, he's bouncing around. He's having fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a good time.
All right, dividend dude, get your hands out of your pants. All right, half jokes.
Do we have time for one more?
Oh, of course, we always have time for one
Okay.
more.
I think this is actually an interesting maybe story time. Can you tell us your journey with Intel? I think it's actually a very like an interesting story.
Get the tissues ready, guys.
Like you mean like from when I initiated position towards where I am now?
Yeah. Like I guess like here, what price did you buy Intel at, like at the very first?
So the very like my original entry point.
Yeah.
So all of it was acquired through selling cash secured puts. So I collected options premium on it. So if I say a price, it'll be slightly different because of the premium collected. But I think the first assignment I took was around $47.
Yeah.
And I just continued that as it fell. And I'm up something on the, I don't know exactly how much I'm up on.
What are they at right now? I have no idea.
38 or something.
Yeah,
like
38.
That.
I looked at it earlier.
Yeah, but no, I kept doing that even as they were at like $24 right after the dividend cut and everybody was bailing, because like I literally just do not care about any of that temporary. I call it the noise, or as Greg Doucette calls it, the mosquitoes. You know, like that does not bother me whatsoever. I don't flinch. I used to be a poker player. I have a good investing poker face, I guess you could say. That's what the sunglasses are for. I just kept selling this cash secured puts, which essentially function like limit orders that you get a premium for. Like I know there's someone in the Discord that uses limit orders a lot. Is it John?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So like I like limit orders, but what I like more than limit orders are limit orders I get paid to do. So that's how I think of them. But yeah, I just kept doing it the entire way because, in spite of what some people say about Pat Gelsinger, I do think he's got a passion for the growth, the future of the business and the technology and everything.
And healthy and competitive dividends.
Yeah. And I think Intel also has probably the most vertical integration of any chip company. And I think, they probably stand to benefit a lot from the CHIPS Act. And I think, building up their fab business is probably going to be a really good long-term move. Give TSM a little bit of competition, and
he said that because of dividend, dude. I know you did. I know you.
And also, like 5 nodes in 4 years, super ambitious. Like I don't know if they'll really achieve it that fast, but just the fact they're striving for that, I view as a positive thing. And even if it takes a little longer than 5 years, even if it took 6, that would be probably like isn't it? What's the usual rate for achieving a new node? Isn't it usually like 3 years per or something like that?
No idea.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not a little bit of an Intel tangent, but at the end of the day, the narrative for the last 2 decades has been AMD is going to kill Intel. Hasn't happened yet.
Well, I guess AMD licenses from Intel, but the real competitor would be like ARM. I don't know too much about it, but
yeah, I'm just saying like what the narrative has been like in the circles of people talking about who's gonna take who out. Everybody that loves AMD says they're gonna kill Intel. That's been, and I think that's mostly from gamers. Everybody my age grew up doing gaming, and AMD was more popular amongst gamers with my generation. So it's mostly my millennial generation that has been saying AMD is going to kill Intel. And I just don't think it's true. I think it's a big fat false. And yeah,
so I guess like I think it's pretty interesting that you're even on your position, even though your first purchase price was so high.
I bought at 55 if it makes you feel better.
Wait, like surprised I didn't like sell instead or something like that?
No. Like even though I guess like my point that is like I think DCA is a very powerful tool.
Yeah, for sure. I 100%. I think if this is my personal take, and this is another value investor like truism. If I liked it at 47, I should love it at 25.
Yeah, but I guess like this goes.
Assuming nothing's changed fundamentally.
I guess maybe if you can like elaborate what you said about if you are going to DCA, you might as well just buy an ETF. Because the companies that you hold,
if I was going to DCA ignoring valuation, might as well buy an ETF. So I thought still Intel was worth more than 47 all the way down. So I wasn't ignoring valuation at any point. I just didn't think the valuation had fundamentally changed.
Okay. Yeah. So if you care about valuation, you should pick individual stocks.
If I care about valuation, I should pick individual stocks. Yes. Okay. If I don't, then I should buy BOO or VT or SPY or something.
Okay. SCHD or TSLY if you're feeling a little frisky.
Buy SCHD. It's free money.
Dividend Dude is talking a whole lot for not being on stream.
I can't read it. Current
share price and take fiscal valuation method. Take current share price and subtract by 1/4 of the share price. What's the Dividend Dude valuation then? Find knockoffs of the best companies and buy them.
Shots fired.
That's shots fired.
Yeah.
Or copy them. Don't take words out of context. All right. We hit the 1 hour, 6 minute mark. We went very strong on here. Anti-Buffett, it was a pleasure. I was looking forward to it. I'm sure Dividend Dude's, he may have a little blue balls right now because there wasn't any crazy argument.
Yeah. He was expecting you to come in here like an assassin and just like mog the shit out of me.
Well, fun times on here. Fiscal, where can the people find you?
In the description. Remember, if you're confused, look down.
Oh yeah, Anti-Buffett. Would you like to plug anything?
I guess I'm on Ryan's Discord. So
yeah, you got to go on. We have some great conversations on there. If you're a Crocs enthusiast, there's something that we all three of us do share in common though. Fiscal may be a value cigar butt investor. Anti-Buffett may be the high-tech growth 59 PE investor, and I might own mid 40-year-old companies, but we all own Do Dividend Stocks Not Drugs merchandise, which is linked in the description. Thank you all. Links are always in the description, and of course, Do Dividend Stocks Not Drugs. Have a good one.
Peace.